Hi, this is Wes, one of the founders of Typejust. I wanted to guide you a little bit more through the product a bit more in detail. Um, let's start with the public library. This we can connect to any available data source that's there. So most of the companies we work with already have a regulatory data feed. We can connect it to our product and all the regulations will appear in the screen. You can easily filter to search for the right regulations that are applicable to your project. All these filters you can also save in a preset. So in this case, I got a preset for credit ratings. If I select it, I get all the regulations according to this filter. One nice thing to note about this is that you can create as many filters as you'd like, and for all the updates within that filter, you will get notifications. So if a new regulation appears according to your filter, you will get notified about like the new regulation that is added to it. Another thing I'd like to show you is the type of workflows that you can set up. So you can create as many workflows as you'd like. In this case, in the demo, we've got a workflow for policy creation and we got a workflow for horizon scanning. The horizon scanning workflow is solely there for this organization to figure out if they need to do something with incoming regulations. So they can add all kinds of publications to this project. They can do an assessment and they can define the actions that are needed. If I go to policy creation, then you see that there's 6 steps. So this is a workflow that is dedicated to taking incoming regulations all the way to controls and potentially policy documents. So now let's show you how you set up a new project. So we can create a new project. We can give it a name. In this case, I'll just give it a simple name. Here I can also select the workflow I'd like to apply. So let's say I want to create a policy. I'll go for policy creation. I can give a short description so everyone knows what we're talking about. And we can create the project. When we're in the project, you can add team members very easily. So in this case, we don't have that many people in the demo environment because it's all our own team members. I can add them to the project and I can also give them a specific role. These roles are also adjustable, so you can create as many roles as you'd like, each with their own capability. So you can create roles for checking off certain things. You can create roles that can only view. You can create roles that can only create, and so on. Now let's take a look at what a project will look like. We've got a demo project set up here. In this case, it contains 6 steps. And it goes all the way from viewing the publications, setting the standards and requirements in those publications, all the way to controls, and eventually you can create policy documents with all this data. In the dashboard of this project, you can see all of the activity that has found place in this project, which is very nice in the end for having a fully transparent audit trail. The same also applies to components in a project. So let's open one. Here you can see all the activity that has found place on a specific component. At the same time, you can also see all the communication that has found place regarding this component so people can discuss it together. And you can see in the data connections overview what this component is linked to. So in the end, when you have defined controls and you want to know like how that control came into existence, you can lead it all the way back to certain parts of regulations. One thing to note regarding all these components, we have a API that allows you to access all the data in Typejust. So let's say if you want to link any control component to a GRC system, that's totally possible, keeping the single source of truth in Typejust. Then I would like to show you the document creator. So with all the data we've created here, we've got the project completed, and now we want to create some documents with it. I'll show you a policy creation. So this is an editor where you can add all kinds of copy to this document. So it's fully customizable. One thing that is very nice is that we can add sections and we can import data from the project directly. So let's say I want to add controls. Well, I can filter which controls I want to view, but in this case, we don't have that many, so I'll just add them all. And they will appear in the document. And this way you ensure that you always have the exact data from the project in the policy. A thing to note as well on the documents is you can create as many documents as you'd like. So let's say if you want to create a rule book based on this regulatory project, or you want to create a contract, everything is possible. All of the documents that are created in these kind of projects can later be found in the private library, where you can also apply filters. In this case, there are not that many in the demo environment, but I can understand in your organization, this will be a lot more. Here you can view all the metadata of these documents, so you can see in which department they are used, what topic it is about, and you can download the PDF version of it. One thing to note is that you can also use our API to load all these documents in any other application that you use in your organization. So this is Typejust in a nutshell. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact Nick or me, and we're happy to discuss any special needs that you have or features that you might want to use. All right, have a good day.